Hey guys, we're going to be doing character drawings today. We're going to kind of go over what styles you could draw in and create, I guess, a little character by the end of this video. So, typically, people won't draw everything the same way. If you look at, other people's drawings, they either vary slightly or they have, big differences for them. One of those differences I find to be what stands out is the eyes. Some people will go for more cartoonish eye. I'm one of those people who tend to draw a little bit more cartoony than realistic. So something, I guess, kind of like this. While others will go for, a realistic eye, something that looks kind of more, I guess, like this. Not exactly. I'm not the best at realism, but I guess you can kind of get the idea. So a lot of it is, personal preference. Some people like to draw, in this more, I guess, semi-realistic style, while other people, like me, I like to draw very much in a cartoonish style. It makes it a lot easier on me. But a lot of it is up to you. So I guess I'm going to draw a few eyes here, and, feel free to pick whichever eye you like the best. A lot of it is, just self-preference. So if you like one eye over the other, that's great. If you don't like any specific eye in general, I would, take a pause for a second, try and think of, how would you draw your character's eyes? Would you draw them cartoonish? Would you draw them realistic? Would you draw them as, I guess, even maybe little dots? Very simplistic, but I'm sure, there's some cases where that can work. I guess a lot of it, again, is up to the person. So I guess you have a few eye drawings here. I'm not going to, make 50 of them, but you can kind of get the idea. And there's, mouth drawings. So we'll think about, what kind of drawings of mouths, I guess, do you like? And this is kind of important because, well, starting out, you don't necessarily have to have a very specific style, but it helps in the future to kind of have that sort of consistency, and definitely helps to, be able to draw, I guess, in your preferable style, because it's something that, your preference and something that you really will end up getting attached to. Definitely not something that you want to rush into. Not everyone finds their style right away. Some people find it sooner than others, and that's completely fine. Everyone's on their own little, I guess, path that will take people to their destination at some point. So here's again a few mouth drawing ideas. They're very basic sketches, so feel free to follow along, and you don't have to copy again. You can just feel free to draw, I guess, different how you think other people would draw mouths, and draw how you think mouths should be drawn. Just vary in, I guess, the style of it. So you have the mouth, the eyes, and we'll just, I guess, quickly do the nose as well. Again, a lot of it is just up to you. There's no, I guess, right or wrong way to draw. A lot of it is up to the person's preference. So yeah, I guess that's the main thing that I can, or all I can really say for the most part. So this is kind of just briefly going over, here's some eyes, here's some noses, mouths, and we'll get straight into, I guess, the face of our drawing. So again, don't have to do specifically what I'm doing. Feel free to vary from it slightly. It's, all about practice and, what you find, I guess, to be your favorite way of drawing. So we'll, I guess, start with a face. I guess I'll go for a more short and round face to kind of give a little bit more, I guess, a fatness to it in a way. I like my characters to be very, I guess, big and big-eyed, and have really big and expressive eyebrows and all of that. Some people are for it, some people are against it. Again, all up to you. So we have, I guess, a very basic idea of how the head should be. Now, kind of looking through, you could just pick a random eye. We'll go for the really big eyes. I feel like that would work out here. So whether you picked big or small eyes, up to you. And by the end of this, we should have, one fairly decent character design. So again, just kind of drawing out how I think the eyes should go, and little eyebrows. You don't have to have a specific expression in mind, just kind of eyebrows here. Here's the eyes, and in a second we'll be just ready. So kind of cheating a little bit here, coloring in the eyes, but here are the eyes that I've picked out. And there we go. So from there, of course, some people will actually skip the nose step. I think I will in this case, but with most characters will have noses. Actually, I will draw a little, button nose here. There we go. And you have, the start to how your character's gonna look. So usually, it depends on the person, really. Some people will spend a lot of time thinking and designing their character. That is, 100% good for them. Some people will have a really hard time. It depends on the person again. You may be one of those people that really struggle to, come up with this very specific design and, a story behind it. That's fine. You don't have to have all of that done. Because this character, obviously, kind of just thought off the top of my head. I don't really have a story for it. But all I know is that it's going to have really big, expressive eyes. From there, maybe you'll draw the little mouth. And at this point, you kind of start with, what just looks like a normal head base. There's a lot of things that you could do to, change up how the character's going to look. You could add, interesting ears, maybe animal ears. Actually, we'll do that in this case. So maybe you want animal ears. You have something like this. And of course, the ears, if you decide to do ears as well, don't have to look exactly like mine. The beauty of drawing is that not everyone's art is exactly the same, and that's what makes it unique and really special in the end, because if everyone drew the same thing, I think people would get quite tired of each other very quickly. So you have, you have the animal ears here, and a lot of it is just adding and removing if you have to, if you feel like things have gotten very chaotic. Usually you won't want to add too much because then it becomes very, very, very distracting. And you just kind of, in a way, while you're adding more to your character design, you're actually taking away from the character itself because you don't know specifically what to look at. You don't know whether to look at the eyes, the ears, the nose, or if it has a bunch of lines and details all over the face. You kind of get lost in that. You don't see the whole picture. You just see every little detail, and your brain's trying to focus on one thing in specific. So here's, a little base head drawing. This is a random design that I just, again, thought off the top of my head. A lot of it comes with practice, so, after practicing a few times, you'll definitely get a lot better and maybe even a lot quicker with coming up with character designs, since you kind of have the idea of, oh, this is where I'm supposed to start out, and, this is where I'm going to end up. So I'm adding a little, fluff to the head, and this is the base head drawing. So, of course, not every person's character is going to look like this. It's, the next character design that people can do can really, look completely different. It can be something with normal human ears, something with maybe fangs, or large eyebrows that cover the whole head, or, maybe covered even in scales. A lot of it, again, which makes, character design teaching so difficult, is that it's really up to the person who's drawing. So here is one more, little tip. So I would recommend, even pausing the video right now and, come up with a few random designs of characters. Just feel free to go crazy with it. You can have this next character, be very scary looking, very, adorable looking, very, I guess, serious looking. Just feel free to, if you have decided to copy this, feel free to draw three more different designs that try not to take, I guess, specifically from the first design that you've done. Try to think of something completely different, because that's where you start coming up with different variations, and that helps a lot with, I guess, getting your brain active and getting your brain thinking about what it's going to draw and how it's going to draw certain things. And that really, I guess, benefits people in the future, especially if you want to make, an actual character that you put into a comic or something like that, or into an animation. It really does help. Kind of, I guess, in a way, even brainstorming. That really does help. So here's, I guess, my second, somewhat in a similar style, yes, design, but I guess a little bit different in that sense. We're a little bit more simplistic, and kind of coming up with that. And of course, I could spend more time and make, I guess, 2 more heads, but I'm not going to do that just for the sake of the video and allowing you to kind of go towards other topics. So, he has very big puffy hair. We'll just leave it at that. So again, this kind of translates more in a broader sense to, body designs. Do you want a character to have a, super long body? Do you want them to have a super short body? Do you want really, large hands, small hands? Do you want a tail? Do you want wings on it? Do you want, him to have claws? Do you want, again, kind of going back, scales popped into my head. A lot of it is experimenting around. So I would, again, pause the video or, kind of go back a little bit and try drawing a total of 4 different character designs. They don't have to be, in the same style. If you feel like that's a little bit difficult to draw in the same style, if you do have a style already that you kind of like to stick with, do that as well. That would, really help. And kind of practice in a way with the 4 drawings. Feel free to go crazy with it. That, I guess, is the general sense of character designs. Again, this, in the later videos will translate to kind of poses and how you pose your characters, action poses and passive poses. And when you design a character, expressions are absolutely the key. Without expressions, your character ends up becoming quite, I guess, in a way, lifeless. You want to add that extra life to the character to really make it pop out, beyond just the pencil and the color. You really want to make it stand out to the person looking at it. So I hope you liked this video. Feel free to go back again if you have anything that you're, kind of confused about. Definitely would practice, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.